Oh, yeah. We did.
So here it is.
We did.
We got 75,000. There's one in every seat.
He's got Amp Lee down there. He's got it.
They came here to see Hurricane football.
Caught by Johnson.
Let's go like a bunch of crazy men and play some games.
Touchdown, Florida State. Touchdown, Miami. Fumbling. Football picked up. Touchdown.
But when I think about Florida State, I think about the great rivalry we had.
Every time we played Miami, it was, they call it game of the century.
Remember, the winner of this game has gone on to win the national championship.
It was a period of time where University of Miami was outstanding, Florida State was outstanding.
Nearly every time we played, it was 1 versus 2, or 1 versus 3, or 2 versus 4. The thing that made it so special is so many good players. There were more pros on that dadgum field than they had up in the NFL.
A big rivalry like Florida State and Miami. There's just so much more excitement.
Here it's 19 all. 2:30 to go. Urban's got it. Urban's free. Urban's gone. Touchdown, Miami. Danny McManus has talked Bobby Bowden out of going for one in a tie. No good. The gamble fails in Tallahassee.
I've got great memories with Florida State. I remember one time, I guess it must have been in about '88, they were ranked preseason number 1, and they had done a rap video prior to the game.
We are the Seminoles of Florida State. We know we're good, some say we're great. Our goal is simple, best in the land. Rockin' to the beat of the Munch Chiefs band. Hey, I'm Deion Sanders, you should know my name. But if you don't, then I'm not to blame. I got world-class speed with Moose Spout. You throw it my way, you know I'll be there. You see, I play my best when the game's on the line. I guess that's why they call me prime time. Some call me cocky, and I know that. But this I got to do, the Seminole rap.
And we had all our kids back, boy. We were going to win it. We go down there and play them. They beat us 31-0. You know, just killed us.
Working against the clock. Down over the middle. Touchdown, Miami. This could be for a national championship. It's up. Yes, to the right.
Yeah, we're not gonna play that because I don't like seeing that.
No.
All right, let's bring in Alex.
Let's bring in
Alex
and TJ.
Hey, Alex, welcome to Rivalry Week, big guy, and congratulations.
Hey, guys.
It's a great
Hi,
ranking
Alex.
right now. Yeah, it's good
Thanks for having me back. It's always nice to chat with you fellas.
Oh,
Yes.
I know. It's like it's called. It's called. I have to
I know.
Alex, I'm sorry, I have to do this.
Hey, I have a lot of respect for Miami because I have my brother who's a Hurricane fan, and
I have friends.
him and I go at it this week. We haven't done anything yet because he's busy doing whatever he's doing, but I guarantee by Friday will be none.
And guys, I love it. Like there's no trash that I haven't heard before from this rivalry. I have 2 cousins who are Florida State alums and big FSU fans, and so we'll be texting each other during the game, after the game. You know, it's either I'm going to be happy and they're going to be miserable, or vice versa. You know, we do the same thing every year, and I love it, guys. I'm excited for every second of it.
All right, let's bring in TJ. He's ready to go. Let's bring him in. Hello, sir. How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Not bad. Welcome to our rivalry week. So I know this is not the way that we want it after losing to Virginia last Friday night, and it kind of made me upset all weekend. But this is still Miami, Florida State, and still the greatest rivalry. And Alex, you probably say this too. It's still the greatest rivalry in college football, even in the ACC or below. I think it's below Michigan and Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would, outside of this rivalry, would say Michigan, Ohio State. They call it the game, but I don't know, man. I mean, I'm close to it. I know TJ's very close to it on the other side. This has always been the game for me, as far as I'm concerned. And we got a little bit of it in that hype video you guys played with, Bobby Bowden and Jimmy Johnson. Obviously, Bobby was there for a lot longer than Jimmy was on the Florida State side. And I can remember, I mean, I was born in the early 80s, guys. I mean, for me, almost every year I'd watch this game. And for a long time, in the 80s, 90s, it was like Bowden said, it was number 1 versus number 2. It was like a national championship eliminator. So many of my memories. I don't know if I would be as big of a sports fan, let alone a Miami fan, but as big of a sports fan if I am today without this game just getting me so pumped up every year.
Yeah, I interviewed Jimmy Johnson when he was in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and I asked him on the Zoom. I go, so let's talk about the Miami State Florida State rivalry. And he goes, well, it was the greatest thing. And Bobby always saw me during this time, and like around the springtime, they had some kind of dinner down in Miami or some lunch for the Orange Bowl. And he comes up, he goes, "Daggum, you cost me 5 national championships, you jackass." Yeah. And I'm like, and Jimmy's like, "Sorry, dude, my team was okay, better than you were." But these games are known for missed field goals. We know some of it on our side. We blocked that kick, back in 2020 or something like that down there.
I was there for that. That was not easy to watch.
Yeah. But it's always, and TJ and Alex, you probably know this, it always comes down to 3 points or less, no matter what. It's like the last play, or somebody's going to foul something up, and somebody's going to capitalize it with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And, it's going to be like heartbreak for one side of us, or happy, or Miami's, heartbreak or whatever. But I truly think with this game, I know we lost to Virginia, TJ, and we can still do this. Georgia Tech has to lose. We can still run the table, and we might see these guys again in Charlotte if it works out in somehow weird way.
Yeah, I think the only way that would happen is if Florida State won. I don't think that they could lose this game and still make it to Charlotte. But if they won, I actually have enough confidence in Miami that I don't think they would lose another ACC game. Maybe knock on wood for the Canes fans, because we maybe could have said that at the end of last year too. But yeah, I think that if you did want that rematch, you would need, and maybe that's a reason for the casual fan to cheer for FSU, so that we can get a rematch in Charlotte. But I think that'd be the only way it happens. And you were talking about the Virginia game. I mean, it is still frustrating. If you win this, it doesn't completely undo it, but having the tiebreaker on Miami, I'm not confident that Virginia and Georgia Tech run the table. And so having the tiebreaker, and Louisville, I guess they're undefeated in the conference as of now. Louisville, Virginia, one of them will knock each other off. But it doesn't undo the loss. But if you win it, you jump ahead of Miami in the conference standings due to the tiebreaker, and you put yourself in much better spot to get to Charlotte. Because again, I don't know that Virginia, Louisville, or Georgia Tech run the table in the ACC. But if you lose this, then you're 2 games behind Miami, and you're 3 games behind Miami with the tiebreaker, 3 games behind Virginia with the tiebreaker. So yeah, I mean, Florida State's got plenty to play for here.
What do you think, Alex? What do you think about this? We could possibly see you guys in Charlotte if everything turns out the right way.
I think these are the 2 best teams in the conference. I mean, it would, like TJ mentioned, there only a couple of scenarios that would see them actually rematching in Charlotte. And I agree, would probably involve a Florida State win on Saturday, and then Miami running the table. Because I also don't necessarily believe in Georgia Tech or Virginia running the table. I mean, Georgia Tech got bailed out by a bad call to beat Wake Forest on the road this past week. So it's hard to imagine that they run the table, based on that. They tend to play down and up to the competition. So I think this is a massive, massive game. And I think on both sides, Florida State, obviously, they have so much to gain here. And if they do win this Miami game, it's almost like the Virginia game was a mulligan, because then they're still in really good shape if they run the table. And then for Miami, I'm sure they're thinking about, the opportunity to potentially knock Florida State out of ACC championship contention, when the schedule is barely started. So I think the stakes are super high, and I do think there's a chance on the Florida State side, not that you would ever lack motivation for a game like this, but they may have even a little bit of an extra motivation coming in, since they are coming off a loss.
Right. Adam, you have a question for both?
Yeah. So obviously we know what happened in Charlottesville last Friday night. So Florida State's run defense couldn't stop Florida State's run defense didn't look like what we've seen the past 2 weeks. So, TJ, starting with you, other than stopping Miami's running offense, since they also have an incredible running offense, what does Florida State got to do, to win this game Saturday night at Doak Campbell Stadium?
Yeah, I mean, I do think that stopping the run, I'll even back up from that. I don't know that anybody's going to stop the run against Miami. But I do think they need to find a way to limit it. If I'd have told you before the year that they were going to hold Alabama to 80 yards and then Virginia was going to go for like nearly 250 on you, you'd probably think that I was on drugs, but that is exactly what happened. And so I don't love anybody's defensive front up against Miami's front five and then, the tight end as well. And then the running backs, Fletcher and Lyle and those guys. So, I don't think anybody's going to just stop them, but you've got to be able to limit it. Like, you can't let them go for more than 120, 125 yards. Once you get up in that like 150 territory, they're probably unless there's just like a massive 80-yard run or something like that, and then maybe you limit it outside of that. Once you get up in that territory, I think you're in a lot of trouble. And I think they have to. It was weird to me in rewatching the film and all the all 22. So from the end zone angle, I thought it was weird that Florida State kind of just trusted their personnel too much and didn't switch out of like light boxes against Virginia. They were getting gashed on the ground for 4 and 6 and 8 yards a carry, and they never came out of that. They never creeped a guy down and said, all right, well, beat us deep, right? If you're gonna run all over us, we're gonna creep some guys into the box and we're gonna make you beat us with your arm. And that was weird to me, but I do expect them to do that this week. And I think if you've got to pick your poison, and I'm not a Carson Beck doubter by any means, but if you've got to pick your poison of, do I want Fletcher and Lyle going for 6, 7, 8 yards a carry, or do I want to see if Beck can beat me deep? I'll take my chances with Beck because I know those guys on the ground can absolutely mash. So I think Florida State will play closer to the line of scrimmage. I think they will try to limit the run as much as they can. They also don't do a very good job of creating pressure with their front four. Again, not that anybody really does against Miami, but they've got to get pretty exotic with some blitzes, some well-timed kind of pressure off the edge or up the middle, wherever they think they can get home. Because if they're not going to win the line of scrimmage, but if they're not at least limiting Miami's power there, then it'll be a long day.
And Alex, same question to you. Or in your opinion, what does Miami have to do to, contain Thomas Castellanos and that Florida State offense?
That I think, to me, the best, if you go coach versus coach matchup in this one, Gus Malzahn, FSU's offensive coordinator, versus Corey Heatherman's Miami's defensive coordinator. That, to me, is going to be an awesome chess matchup. And obviously Malzahn has a big edge when it comes to experience. Heatherman so far is doing a pretty good job at Miami, just based on the way the defense is transformed compared to last season. And so I think, to me, being ready with your gap integrity, not letting the misdirection completely exploit you, because something that is noticeable so far in a good way about Miami's defense is the swarming and the gang tackling. But if you've got, 5 guys, 6 guys going in the wrong direction, which is something that Malzahn loves to create, then, Castellanos and Florida State's running backs, could really hurt Miami. And also, Castellanos has done a good job going deep down the field. And I do think Deuce Robinson is someone that, Miami's going to be worried about. He's a tough matchup for any corner. Miami does have a couple of physical corners back there, Xavier Lucas and OJ Frederic. So whoever draws those assignments are going to be key. I mean, quite frankly, I think for either side, scoring first, building an early lead is going to be important, because I think Florida State's defense is built to play with a lead. And if that's not something that they have against Miami, it's going to make it a lot tougher. And then for Miami, I don't know what Miami playing from behind looks like, because they have not trailed at any point so far this season. And I don't mean that as a flex. I mean that as an unanswered question that might have to be answered this Saturday. Miami's never played from behind at any point so far this season. And this is Miami's first road trip, and it's not an easy one, stepping into that meat grinder that is Doak Campbell Stadium. It's going to be one of the loudest environments you're ever going to experience. It's not going to be easy. I think Miami's going to lean a lot on the experience of a guy like Carson Beck, having played in so many loud stadiums during his SEC career. So is he going to be able to kind of impart that wisdom and that calm onto someone like true freshman receiver Malachi Toney, who, like TJ mentioned, if Florida State goes with a heavy box, you're going to hope Toney is someone who's going to be able to make plays. He just turned 18 like 2 weeks ago. So there's going to be a lot of, unanswered questions about Miami that are going to be answered this week. And I'm excited to see how they answer that call. And Beck didn't have a very good game against Florida, so he's going to be looking kind of personally to bounce back against Florida State, because I do believe Miami's going to have to hit some big passing plays to win this one.
Yeah, I will say this. From what I've seen from Carson Beck so far at Miami, it's been incredible. I didn't, when he transferred, from the University of Georgia, I don't think anyone knew what was coming after his injury last year, in the SEC championship game. And to see this, it's like Carson Beck of 2023, and it's like he has played incredible. Those that transfer running back from North Dakota State has been exceptional, incredible, and I'll say this: it's sad that College Game Day is not gonna be there because of Florida State losing, even though we all know they should have been there, even if because Vanderbilt, Alabama, why? But it's nice to see the ACC huddle crew going there to represent, the ACC and everything like that. So, Matt, do you have a question for either TJ or Alex regarding this high-intent showdown Saturday night at Doak Campbell Stadium?
Yeah, TJ. So what's it going to take for Florida State to pull out the victory?
I think the most crucial thing is not even on the field. I think it's, Alex kind of mentioned this, but it's on the sideline. Like, I don't think Florida State can just line up and beat Miami. Like, fluky things happen if you got a punt return or you got a pick six. Yeah, sure, like that. But I don't think they can just line up and beat them. Their trenches are too good, and I'm not very impressed with Florida State's defensive line so far. They're fine. They're serviceable. They're much better than last year, but it's a low bar. I think Gus Malzahn has to scheme this up well enough for them to win. I think that he did an excellent job, and really all year. I mean, last year the idea was if you scored 14 on Florida State, you won the game. This year, through 4 games, they've got the number 1 offense scoring and yards per game with a couple of cupcakes in there in the country, and his offense has been really good. What he did really, really well against Alabama was with all the motions and the jet sweeps and the fakes and option stuff. He did a good job of getting those Bama defenders to play on their heels instead of their toes. And just that half second of indecision was enough for Florida State to consistently move the ball on Alabama. If they can do that with Miami, if the things that Gus schemes up are effective enough, then they'll have a great shot. They need timely stops on third down. They need to, again, limit Miami's run, all those things. But to me, it really comes down to, does Gus have enough left in the bag that he hasn't used against Virginia, that he hasn't used against Alabama? Has he saved anything? And I'm not even talking like trick plays. I'm talking just the way that he calls plays on top of each other to complement or to disguise what you've done earlier. If he can do that, then I think Florida State will have a great chance. If Miami's defense, which has been good this year, but probably hasn't seen an offense that's this high-powered yet, if they can limit that, if they can keep Florida State under 20 and Florida State's not able to move the ball like they want to, I mean, it'll be a long day. So to me, the biggest thing is like Alex mentioned, the Gus versus Heatherman matchup of coordinators.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be exciting Saturday night. I'm looking forward to it. And I know you, TJ, you're probably going to be at the game, and I know Alex is probably going. Are you going to be up there in?
I'm not. I kind of wish that I was going, but it's like Miami's got 8 home games this year, so it's like, all right, I'm gonna sit the road games out and just watch those from home. So maybe in 2 years I'll be back up there in Tallahassee.
That's cool. That's cool. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this weekend. It's going to be a great weekend, and hopefully we'll have a great game Saturday night on ESPN. I wish Game Day was there, but that's a whole different story for another day. Yeah, we'll talk about that down the road. So. But TJ and Alex, thanks so much for coming on tonight, and enjoy the rest of the week.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for having me.
See you guys. Have a good one. All right, that's good. Oh, hold on. I just hit the wrong button here. All right. That was the guys, TJ, who does the TJ pitch field Englander from Double Fries and No Slaw, and Alex Donno, who does Lock On Canes and also does a post-game show for the Hurricanes on 10:43 a.m. WQAM. That's a lot of words there. Anyway, let's move on to a local feel here. Towson coming off a nice win over the last weekend against Bryant. So let's bring in Coach Pete Shimmick on the phone here.
From Florida State and Miami to, talk about the showdown at Doak Campbell Stadium on Saturday night. Well, obviously we have players, we have former Canes players, we have former Noles players. So I guess let's start with the hometown team, the Noles. We have Tarlos Thomas, we have Melvin Pearsall, and Dedrick Dodge Sr. joining us. And representing the University of Miami, we have Chris T. Jones, Kelvin Harris, Charleston Rambo, and Elijah Alston. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This is a huge week, obviously, for college football. So, Kelvin, we'll start with you since you're a former Cane. What was it like for you to play in this rivalry showdown?
Well, I came into the rivalry in '87, and actually, that's probably a traumatic moment for Dedrick. Just thought I'd bring that up. I know he remembers that long touchdown he gave to allow us to win the '87 game, but that was that '87 game just started a series of a 5-6 year series of great games. We were down 19-3. I'll never forget, we're standing on the sideline while I was red shirted, and Michael Irvin came over. He was in the stance, and Dion said, why are you still running your route so hard? This game is over. And he looks over at us on the sidelines and says, because I'm a Miami Hurricane. And I never give up. And then shortly after that, Dedrick took the wrong angle and he went 73 yards. And that started our comeback. And those games, that was a part. It was a part of our fiber because, we respected those FSU guys, and I assume they respected us. And it was like fighting your brother. But, in the off season, we would get together and, we were friends. But for that particular week, like this week, we're not friends. Not friends at all.
No, Chris. I think you have a couple. Guys on the phone too.
Let me bring in the spin doctor, Chuck Foreman, who is from the state of Maryland, but he did play running back for the University of Miami back in the late '60s, early '70s. He did really well with the
one of the greatest.
Yes, one of the greatest running backs. I didn't realize he was from Frederick, Maryland. I'm here in Cockeysville. I'm like, you were 2 hours away from me then. That's pretty cool. So let's bring in the spin doctor. So let's bring him in. Hey, Chuck. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on the show tonight. How you doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Doing good. We got everybody here. Let me tell you who's here from the University of Miami. We have Kevin Harris. He's here on the show with you, and then we have Charleston Rambo, who was a wide receiver for Miami and spent time with Oklahoma, but he's up in beautiful Montreal playing with the Alouettes, so he's there too. And then let's bring in Chris T. Jones. One of the former Miami guys from the great days of Miami football. So talk about this week. So let's talk about Miami, Florida State. You played back in the days in the late '60s, early '70s. When was this like a true rivalry back then, or was it a little more lopsided?
Well, I think Florida State and Florida have always been a rivalry for the Hurricanes, and I got there in '69. That was my freshman year. Of course, back then, freshmen didn't play varsity football, so we had to play against Florida State as a freshman football team. And that's when we got indoctrinated as to Miami Hurricane Florida State rivalry.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. Let me bring in Charleston Rambo. Hey, Charleston, how you doing, bud?
Doing great. How you doing today?
Doing good. Talk about you were just down in Miami for 1 year. So how cool was it playing in the Florida State Miami rivalry?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, that whole week is fun. We were here to anthem all week, just get us pumped up at practice and just get used to that environment if we are playing away. But I'm not sure how this year is set up, so Or Miami home or away?
It's in
away.
Tallahassee. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. So I'm sure they're hearing the noise right now. So I mean, it's gonna be a lit week, and game time comes. It's gonna be a big game.
That's true. Let's talk to Chris. Hey, Chris, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's up? How everyone doing? Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on for our
no doubt.
Miami segment here. So, talk about the
It's my pleasure.
In your eyes, playing Florida State. I know it's basically a hate week, but that's Georgia and Georgia Tech. Yeah, this is just a full blown, two schools know each other 50 miles apart, or whatever it is, from Tallahassee to Miami, and they're all friends except for this weekend.
Well, big brother Kelvin will tell you, it's no class this week. It's no class. It's no class. It's strictly you eating and sleeping Florida State. And plus, we don't look at it as a hate rivalry, because you got to remember, a lot of us grew up against each other, playing ball in the streets or playing in high school. And, we just went to different colleges, and it just carried over for our bragging rights when during the off season that, hey, when we go back around our little hometown, hey, we kicked that, you know what? That's how we look at it as. And then a lot of us, UM boys, we pretty much talking trash, because half of us, we got half of they women up there in Tallahassee when we was playing.
Not just that.
We were just keeping it real. Sometimes we'll have they women come down to us for the week. And then when we're playing out there, then you can go on back up there, because we don't need you no more.
they giving messages and stuff. Hey, when you go back to Tallahassee, tell such and such that I need him to call me.
Exactly.
All right, let me bring in big game James Coleman. Yeah, he's in the.
Well, I know Kelvin lying already, dog. I know Kelvin. If Kelvin talking, he telling some elite lies. So I know that. I already know that for a fact.
Hey, James, that's what them Canes do. All they do is lie, man.
That's
all they do is lie, man.
Hey, Tarlos, I liked you on the documentary, man. You did a good job. But you know what the funny thing is, man? I got as many rings as y'all school got total.
Man.
You know who uses that? Harvard, Yale, Pitt.
87, 89, 91.
Listen, man.
Yes,
I don't even know if I was.
We had one in 90 against BYU.
This is fun. I love this. I'm just going to sit back.
I mean, the only thing missing
Lord
here
of the Rings.
the only thing missing here is we need Keith Jackson or Brent Musburger calling.
Whoa, Nelly.
Thank you, Kelvin. Yes, I mean,
my man brought up Technicolor. Technicolor had just came out.
Man. Hey, you know what's funny?
The Last Great War.
I still enjoy watching Bobby Bowden's face when he realized that kick didn't go in. Oh man.
Hey, now,
which
hold
one?
on. Now.
Wide left?
Hold on
wide
now.
right?
You're cutting deep now. Stop now. Hey.
All I'm gonna say, we got that stopped. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, we have Chuck on the phone here. Let me ask Chuck a question here. Chuck, watching this rivalry throughout the years after you played in it, in the late 70s, late 60s, early 70s, what's your take on this rivalry since you left? It grown. Yeah, go ahead.
First of all, I'm going to give you a little bit of the history. First of all, I want everybody to know, they should probably know anyway. When I got to the University of Miami, we were just integrating the program. First there was Ray Feldman, then there was Tom Sullivan and me.
Yeah.
And so, our whole journey was kind of different than the guys that you're talking to now, because we had a different type of the goals set to, pretty much set the standard at the U. Because when you look at the U, they in Florida alone, they had so many great players in that system that they could have won 10 national championships by now, from what I've seen. So my journey and our journey when we got there was number one to set the standard as far as doing what we needed to do, so that they can integrate the program even more. And then as you can see, it's going on, all these great players and great people have been there. But my journey was kind of different. We had to set the standard, for what we University of Miami men. So, I'm proud to be a part of it and to see all these men, take it and run with it and win national championships and things like that. But when I was there, I was just learning about the Florida State. I came from Maryland.
Yeah.
So guys in Florida, they probably already knew about that rivalry and stuff like that. But in those days, Florida State and Florida had maybe a little edge on us at the time. So they talked a lot of trash, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah. We got your back.
Or anything like that. But, I got exposed to that. And then as the University of Miami has gone on and gotten better. But let me tell you one thing. When you go to the University of Miami, if you don't have swag when you get there, you're going to definitely have it when you leave. And they play football with a whole different type of energy, now. And so it's great to be a part of and see these young men and watch them as they had played after I left. But, it's great to be a part of the rivalry of Florida State and Florida. It's going to be a great game, and I like where we are as a team.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask James a question. James, you played in this rivalry back with Miami and Florida State. Just talk about the.
Hold on now. Don't say back in the day. They played back in the day. I don't. Rambo might be younger. Rambo younger. I'm not that old. I just got.
I know you're not.
Gray.
But I'm just saying.
I gray a little bit more than everybody else.
My question. Just talk about the hitting. Yeah, people don't realize it's a full-out brawl for 60 minutes, pretty much. It's like 4 quarters of like adrenaline and like people. It's like bodies everywhere. It almost looks like. When the Eagles, Chris, this is what I'm, in the Eagles and the Redskins back in the day, the body bag game. This is almost like what's of that. It's like everybody just, it's hard hitting, pound. People get hurt. It's just a great rivalry and I'm glad now you guys are in the ACC. It used to be mine used to be in the Big East, and now it's like we're all, this is a big ACC rivalry now, and I hope the folks enjoy that. And, so just talk about the hitting, James, back, when you played against Miami.
Yeah, if you ain't like violence, these ain't the programs to go to. I mean, I hit people. How I got involved in football was my coach told me that you fight a lot and you're going to get arrested and go to jail. So, but if you come here and you fight in between this green field, between these 100 yards, like people will cheer you on, like they will love you. They're going to love on you, and you won't go to jail. And I said, you mean to tell me I can hit that dude as hard as I want to hit him, and I could maybe go to college. I could get it. He's like, yeah, and we'll feed you 3 square meals, and we'll give you 2 and get you out of the apartments. I said, I could get out the projects like this. I said, exactly. But then you watch these games, right? So one of the things that I had to go up against, and I almost went to Miami. So I remember as a young man watching the national championship game against Nebraska with Miami. Mm-hmm. John Vilma on 2 back-to-back plays literally could have gone to jail for what he did to those 2 guys. So I'm like, cool, I'm going to Florida State. Then I'm like, wait a minute, hold up.
Yeah.
He played Miami. I played fullback, so I got to hit this guy. So you either going to hit or be hit. And I loved it. DJ Williams, John Vilma, Beeson, Taylor, all these other guys there. I'm like, cool, bet. And then I'm like watching this stuff now because, they got, again, our video was a little bit better than some of these other guys, not as grainy. Right. But my son is watching this stuff. So we had spring break. I'm over here watching the Orange Bowl game. And my son's like, Dad, is that you? You hit Vilma? I'm like, yeah, I squared up on him. And then Greg got his get back on Sean Taylor. And it was just a lot of hitting going on. It was a lot of violence. And then even the touchdown I scored, dang, man, it's 20 years ago. That's crazy. 20 years ago, it's I watched it 7 years ago. And I didn't realize how hard the collision was between me and Leon Williams until I watched it. And you can you hear the crowd. But you hear it sounded like 2 cars colliding in the end zone. And we didn't block the Mike linebacker on 34 belly. That was my guy. That was one-on-one. You either got to make a miss or you got to run over him. We only need a yard. So, it was those things. And, right now, I'm getting a little older. My neck might not be as great, as fluid. I'm a little stiff. But I had a great time. I got great memories from some of those hits, man. And it was just – it's fun. It's one of those. Those are 2 programs where you don't want to go and not be and not make no play. Like how you go to Miami, how you go to Florida State, and nobody know who you are. Like that's a tough thing to be. So I love being able to, again, and people know who you are in this game. Like you'll go, and I tell my son, I tell the kids I coach, I joke with a lot of people. Nobody has I scored 10 touchdowns, but the only touchdown that anybody ever talks to me about is a touchdown in 2005 against Miami into our student section end zone. So like it was just a lot of fun, a lot of vibes, and it's great, man. Again, I miss the violence of the game. Nowadays game, it sounds like an aggressive pillow fight sometimes. But it's this game right here. Hopefully these guys are going to come out and bang.
Yeah. Let me ask Blade a question. Blade, thanks for coming on tonight, sir. I appreciate you coming on. What's your memories about Florida State and Miami? I know you were in these games, and it was great, hitting and great, back and forth, and it was probably the best television on ABC or CBS or whoever had it. So what is your take on this rivalry?
First, I'm gonna start off like the MCs do when they go to the concert. Can y'all hear me?
Yes,
can y'all hear me? Okay, so now you can hear me. Now I'm gonna say respectfully, because I'm trying to tell you the poise I just had to have, because Kelvin came out swinging hooks off the rip, brought my name up. Poise I had to have to sit here and respectfully listen to all this. First of all, I feel disrespected that we're playing at home and we start off with interviewing Miami players first. That's my first thing far as on that. Second thing, my name is
Get him, Blade. Get him, Blade.
It's Dedrick Dodge. It's Dedrick
Yes,
Dodge.
it is.
Yes, AKA the Blade, because I cut cats. That's Shane Colwell from '89. Anyway, up back on that. You right, Kelvin. I think about that fade every single time, and I did take a bad angle, live with it all the time, but that ain't what lost the game. We went for 2 and we lost the game. So let me clarify that. Okay, that wasn't the play that won the game, like no Hail Mary or something like that. Pat
I let Pat Carter know about that all the time too.
That's right. But I'm saying that play was a play, but it ain't lose the game. And for Michael Irvin in that play, I've never been beat by a fade since 1987, but it was because that play. I swear on everything. Since 1987, I haven't been a bit on the fade. They ran the same play with Lawyer Tillman in the Sugar Bowl, and I picked it off. So I appreciate him for that. Now we talking about jury. You right. I hold that thing in all the time, because even when I got to the NFL, I got 2 Super Bowl rings, and I had to run through a lot of Miami cats. So let's say that there on that thing. 89, you got that jury, but you ain't beat us, is what I'm talking about as far as on that. So to talk about the rivalry, man, we got a lot of respect for Miami. It's like probably one of the only teams that you play, like everybody's been saying, man, a lot of guys played against each other. It's just like during this week, it's a lot of trash talking. But one thing that we can do as far as afterwards, man, we always can hang out and joke and respectfully joke. You know what I'm talking about as far as on the thing. Hurricanes, a lot of respect for them. The hitting that goes on in practice, and even like for us during the game, is legendary. I remember Miami, one of the first schools, even when I was there, I'm from the 85 to 89. And they always had all their players on the sideline. They were one of the first schools that do that. You know what I'm talking about? And them guys was always on their side. I'm talking about the ex-players that played, that went off to the league. They was on their side. I think a lot of teams do that now. Florida State do that. But I always give you extra ammunition as far as them players, as far as them being over there. I also want to end with one thing. Kelvin and all the Miami Hurricanes on there right now, when I come to dope, I want you to let you know my cleats in the trunk. So there might be 2 games. I work out, you know what I'm talking about. I Oklahoma with anybody right now. That's how
you still can't cover Mike.
That's all. That's how just serious it is. I don't cover Mike. I'm a safety and not here. Now he got with me that one time.
Mike on that bean though.
But I'm telling you straight up right now. Hey, I'm at Platinum Fitness every day too. I will run through him. He know it. I'm telling you, we beat him when I was at San Fran with Dallas.
Hey, my big brother Mike, he in shape right now.
Hey, ask him what happened when I was at. Ask him what happened when Dallas played San Fran. Come on now, we ain't scared of them. Beat them twice in a row. So I'm saying this go. Hey, I'm just saying this. This Miami Florida State thing go.
They took y'all best player. They took y'all best player. He won a Super Bowl with y'all, and he said, "Man, I don't want to beat these cornballs. I'm gonna go to Dallas with some Florida boys."
It go all the way to the next level is what I'm talking about. So this series is that because this Miami Florida State rivalry, it don't only stay in college, it also go to the next level. And I remember seeing a lot of guys. It goes all the way far as on that. So I'm saying,
yeah, I'm still doing Florida State boys out the country, but That's how it be, though.
That's how it be. That's how it be. It's deep. It's deep. A lot of respect. Lot of trash talking, but I'm gonna say from my end, it's a lot of respect. You know what I'm talking about. Far as the U, got a lot of friends. Played with some guys from the U. Played with Roland. You know what I'm saying? Them cats from the U, man. So I got a lot of respect. You know what I'm saying? Of course, this week we know what time it is, and you know what I'm saying. What needs to be said. So we already know what time it is as far as on that. I just don't like you started off with them Hurricanes. We playing home. That's all.
All right.
Hey,
And he went with the better. He went with the dominant. He went with the dominant team.
That was me, and I'm sorry. I will take that. I'll take that as a loss.
These boys, the U ain't been the U for a long time. They still living through the 80s. And now they got a little squad. Now they all coming out their little crawfish holes and whatever, out the swamps and stuff. Now they talking real big mad talk. When the last time they won that championship and all like that? Now they out now. But you know what happens when you come to a wounded place. Y'all come in the dope. And you know it ain't going to be easy when you come up in there. So they talking about to convince themselves. They know what time it is.
Listen, I'm going to say exactly what I said earlier today on Locked On Canes and another one. We are going to run it down y'all throat like it's a porno movie. And when we done with y'all are going to tap out.
Oh, dang, you big bro.
I did not stutter.
I'm so glad.
Y'all are going to tap out at home.
Yes.
Well, let's talk to Melvin.
Melvin. I have something to say to everyone. It's called, I work for a Florida-based grocery store chain here in North Carolina. Y'all heard of it. It's called Publix. My store manager is a diehard Miami Hurricanes fan.
Yes.
And he knows that I am a diehard Florida State Seminoles fan. So it's
you still got a job?
Yes, I still have a job. Yes, I still have a job. I've worked there 6.5 years, and I'm proud of it. So it's like he knows how big of a Noles fan I am. I know how big of a Canes fan he is, and it's like, trust me, I see Hurricane fans come through. I see FSU Noles fans come through, and I give them all the respect in the world. But this week, it's like, all I can say is,
hey, Kelvin, yeah. he gave James them crabs from Publix.
Oh, okay.
Gee, no, that wasn't me.
They were good too.
I gotta say,
that wasn't me. That wasn't me. I'm sorry. That wasn't.
Can I say something here?
It's called
Free Crab University.
Jeez,
I gotta ask you this. This is what I'm gonna tell you. My brother Will is a big Miami Hurricane fan, and I grew up watching this game every time with him. And one time he made, we were kids, and I said, hey, he made some brownies for the game. It was like a 1:00 game or something like that between Florida State and Miami. I said, hey, can I have some brownies? He goes, no, you root for the wrong team. Sorry, you can't have any. I'm like, so he told me I was in tears. I'm like, oh, come on. Yeah, give me a break. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot of trauma in this rivalry. But no, unlike the Florida rivalry, Dedrick is right. Like, I remember, I don't know if you remember this, Dedrick, but a couple years ago, Dwayne Starks had the trust situation, the dinner at Prime 112, and we all got together before the game when it was in Miami. And that was sort of like a brotherhood, where we talked about the games and the memories. Mm-hmm. It's just different. I mean, I know how y'all feel about Florida, and I know how I feel about Florida. Mm-hmm. So but it's a different feel. We can go have a drink after the game. Right. Well, unless, of course, it's in Tallahassee, because I know y'all gonna be, throwing stuff and trying to get us arrested after we beat y'all. But it's a respect. It's a respect.
It is.
Are we gonna have after this game over? We're gonna have like a part 2. We get to talk about who won and who lost and all that, or are you gonna be crying, or you gonna be looking like, nah, I don't want to have that conversation? I'm just saying.
Dog, I really think y'all should sit y'all quarterback out this week so he doesn't get hurt. And y'all can have a productive season afterwards. Go to a respectable bowl game. Okay. Because y'all offensive line can't protect him. And I'm not being funny. I don't think there is a set of tackles in this country that can pass block those two defensive ends we got. And
yeah, pretty good, but we ain't got to throw the ball all the time against y'all. We can run the ball as well.
You're not going to run the ball on them.
No.
Hey, that's what you say.
Pick your poison, brother. No.
That's what you say.
No.
You're not running the ball
We'll
on
see
them.
how many rushing yards after the end of this game.
Now, I will say this. Your defensive coordinator, I really believe this, is going to come out and he's going to run blitz us the entire first half because he has to keep us behind the chains. He's got to keep us in second and long. So I expect a lot of run blitzes early in the game to try and offset because we're going to run the ball. You know, we're not even trying to hide it. But I think that's going to set y'all up for some stuff down the field. JoJo Trader's back this week. I don't think y'all have a guy that can match up with Malachi Tony. But I do say this.
I just need some help. Can you show me the film that I can go study that says that nobody, because you haven't attacked the downfield. It's actually you rank in the worst in the FBS in attacking the ball down the field. I like Malachi Tony, but you're saying attack. Like, just can you help me know what?
No, what I'm saying is
22?
no. What I'm saying is we don't necessarily have to throw the ball down the field. We don't necessarily. We're not an explosive offense. This team is not built to be explosive. It's built to make you tap out.
What does we can't stop mean then?
That means we're going to run it down your throat.
No. Malachi Tony isn't a running back. He's a wide receiver. For those who
Mark
don't know,
Fletcher.
What does not stopping Malachi Tony mean? What is
what I'm saying is I don't think you guys can match up with him because your coordinator has to make a decision. Am I going to sit back in this 3-3-5 base and see if I can stop the run, or am I going to blitz early on, put everybody at the line of scrimmage? But when you do that, that leaves the middle of the field open for the slot receiver. So crossing routes, mesh routes, it's there.
So you're not saying like he's going to do like 200, 150. You say like he's going to be able.
I think he can.
He's going to move the chains.
They're going to move the chains.
No, he's not.
He's nice. Mark Fletcher is nice. I'll give you.
Yeah, he's not a 80-yard bomb guy. He is a the middle of the field guy. But if you think about this, because we all remember what Tom Brady did with the Patriots. He didn't beat you with the deep ball except for that one year when he had Randy Moss. He beat you with the tight end and the slot receiver. Two white boys that ran 4.8 because they dominated the middle of the field. So with the 3-3-5 that you have, you can't sit back in those bubbles. You can't have those two bubbles and just let us run the ball. Because we would gash.
Can I ask Kelvin? Can I ask?
There's not a bigger Carson Beck fan on this thing than me. I coach Carson. He's a Mandarin kid. I love Carson. But what you're talking right now, Kelvin, is out your ass. I just want you to know. Carson doesn't attack the ball down the field. That's not. You're explaining a game.
We're not asking him to.
What I'm saying is, you're saying about the corners and the blitz. It's your coordinator is a conservative guy. Now, if you can run, I was with you with the run game. I was with you there. You were making sense. But when you started talking about the throwing stuff, it's when we kind of got out of it. That's when that homerism. And I know you got that pride and you got to have it. But like I was in Carson Beck's box at the Notre Dame game, watching it, hanging out, enjoying the snacks and shit. So like I get what you're saying. But like this is ball right now. You were getting into the ball, the X's and O's. So I was getting confused.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Are we doing the X's and O's?
After being around him and understanding what they did at Georgia last year, I have so many questions about Georgia's coaching staff. The fact that you don't let your quarterback audible and you're running some archaic system from 7-8 years ago also explains what happened to them this past weekend. But I tell you right now, that kid has a full understanding of the offense. He can make the throws, but we're not going to ask him to because we're going to run the ball and we're going to throw in the middle of the field. Now, when you guys have the ball, we got to be extremely disciplined because the eye candy in that offense is what is what distracts people. But all y'all really want to do is take James Coleman up the middle and gash us with A-gap runs. That other stuff is just distraction. And what happens is teams get distracted and y'all just run the ball right up their gut. And that is the biggest problem I think we're going to have is not get caught up in jet sweeps, not get caught up in bubble screens, is to understand that y'all are going to run the ball A-gap to A-gap.
Kelvin, do you remember your games when you played in Doak? Like I heard you say 87. That was a close game. I'm talking about games that you played in Doak. 89, y'all lost. What about 91? Do you remember the games that you played that was in Doak?
Yeah, why right?
You see what I'm saying?
Hey, listen.
Look.
I will never. Listen. I told some.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is this: we are playing home. It's like playing in the old Orange Bowl. What y'all playing in now? That ain't the Orange Bowl. The Orange Bowl is live. The Orange Bowl was live. But I'm just saying. Everything you're saying is real, but understand, if I'm about to dominate, you're coming to Doak. And you know how we play when you come to Doak. That's all I'm saying as far as that. And you remember from the games you have. It go down to the wire and all kind of things like that. It ain't going to be no dominant. We going to tap out. Come on, bro. Talking out the side of your neck. We ain't tapping out in Doak. We ain't going to do it. We ain't tapping out against y'all. You know what I'm saying? When you was there, when y'all was really the you, because that's what we going off of when y'all really was you in the 80s. Y'all ain't been the you since then. So everybody living off that, looking at the old films and all that stuff like that. When we were the you, holding up the you sign. That's Utah. I don't care what
Dog, y'all tapped out 2 years ago. Y'all tapped out 2 years ago.
You was there. I said when you was there, Kelvin.
Well, you know what's interesting?
We talking me and you talking me and you.
Let's talk about 91. Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm be honest with you.
Hold on, before you go back in time, all the way back in time, I want to correct you. This is like 2 years ago we won. Just now go back in time.
Okay. Well, we'll get that in a second.
And 3 years ago, we made you tap out. 3 years ago, we made you tap out at the Seminole Harbor. But go back in time.
So the most the most memorable moment I have of Doak Campbell, I remember we had a TV timeout and we were standing on the field, and I remember we looked up and it was nothing but the tomahawk chops and it was loud. And I was like, man, this shit cool as hell. Now, of course, 2 plays later, Larry Jones scored and it was quiet, but the atmosphere of all the stadiums we've been in.
Unreal. It's unreal.
I love that atmosphere. I love it. I mean, other than the Orange Bowl, it was, yeah. Now, I will say this. A lot of people talk about what Hard Rock is in the Orange Bowl. When we have a big game at night, like we did against Notre Dame found out them Cubans get loud because they drunk. They've been there all day. They've been tailgating, and they passionate about that orange and green. Now, I will say this. Doak Campbell, y'all are consistent every week because there's nothing else to do in Tallahassee other than sleep with your sister. So
this boy does statement.
So
this man from Fort
I
Myers
imported a lot of Miami women. I don't know about all that.
Hey, hold on. The greatest athlete to ever set foot at Florida State is from Fort Myers. So hold on now. Watch that.
He had to come to Tallahassee to achieve his greatness.
The development.
He didn't stay in no damn Fort Myers.
Actually, Coach Johnson had just got there, and he just kind of slipped through the cracks. But Dion was a Miami guy. He had all the Miami swag.
Come on. Y'all know Tallahassee can't compare to South Beach and Coral Gables and all that. Come on. When y'all was in the league, hold on. When y'all was in the league, where y'all come at?
I don't want to go to South Beach.
Dang, come on, fellas. Did you say you don't want to go to South Beach?
When we went to class, our students, the girls went crazy to class.
They was in Tallahassee because we had FAMU. They was in Tallahassee.
They don't like black women. That's what it was. They don't like. That's too much thing.
No, man.
They ain't got enough of that.
My money was getting Rolex was getting my money.
They act like FAMU.
Oh man, Rolex, yeah,
Rolex
nice.
was getting my money, bro. We weren't worried about no Tallahassee.
See, that's the thing.
We got Carol City. We got all the hoods down now.
And we all had a gal at FAMU.
Yeah,
or
no doubt.
FSU.
Yep.
That's what I
I
said.
believe
Y'all was
Leon
coming up there.
seriously had.
I don't
had
know
a
how to
brother
stop
family
this, but we
before I
got to move
believe
on.
you had one,
But
Kelvin. And
Let's
you
move
know what
on,
I
Chris.
you know
We
why
got
I made that joke.
I can't. I'm just going to sit back and watch. Yeah, I'm okay.
I tell you what, before I leave off of
this
this
is
show,
fun.
I want to say one thing. If I don't say nothing else, I'm just saying from 93 to 98, we was 5-1.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay.
We was 5-1.
No, y'all had. Listen, y'all had a run, and I love me some Charlie Ward. I'm not even gonna sit here and lie.
I like Charlie Ward too.
I think Charlie Ward revolutionized what we see today. Charlie Ward at quarterback and Dennis Erickson's offense, because basically they were the same thing.
We beat y'all in '94. I was my last year.
Yeah, that's the only one. I said 5-1.
Hey, Sapp put on a show that game.
Yes, he did.
Put on a show.
I think we go through streaks. I think
Both
we
schools go through the
I look
streaks.
at-
If we're
we
gonna
go
talk
through
about streaks, both
I
schools going through the
think
streaks.
We go through
Yeah.
streaks. I think the most Miami beat us in the row, if I looked down the line, was 6. I think we did y'all 7. You know what I'm talking about? We trying to like one up.
What's the
each other,
rivalry?
like, we go
What's
through
the record of the rivalry right now?
36-33 Miami.
Gotcha.
37-33.
37-33.
Can we
I stand
count
corrected.
FAMU?
I stand.
FAMU
Oh! Somebody got
Can we
that
count
first
the
time.
FAMU?
I like that. That was nice. That was nice.
That's good.
I just wanted to make just try
That was
because they
nice.
lost twice
That
in
was
dough
nice.
that year, if I remember.
That was nice.
Oh
All right,
man.
guys. But we got to wrap it up here. But I appreciate you all coming on tonight. It's been
Thank
fun
you, guys.
listening to all your
Thank you.
trash talking.
Yep.
I'm ready to go
This is
now.
totally good, man.
I'm ready
This is
to go.
so good.
I have no words.
I ain't gonna lie. Hey, it brought out some energy in me, man. I feel like I need to get in some better shape and go do some stuff, man. It was
Dietrich. Hey, Dietrich, I think Mike gonna be at the game, so if you want to get
Mike gonna be there. You already know that big bro gonna be there.
If you want to put
hey, I got my money on Mike still.
I got my money on Mike.
Man, Mike's still in shape. I'm telling you, man. We see him every week. Every week I see Mike. Mike is shape.
Hey, you see him ringing that bell? Hey, Chris.
Yeah, you see him ringing
Chris,
that.
you see
Y'all
him ringing
saw
that
him ringing
bell?
that bell.
Hey, it ain't as good up in Tallahassee as it is in Miami, so he gonna have to bring his own stuff. Ain't nothing that exciting about that. Ain't nothing that exciting about reading.
Oh man,
Mike is high on life. Mike is high on life.
Oh,
by
he
the
said
way.
the steps down up there.
Mike is a good dude. Hey,
All right,
get
guys. I
stepped on up
appreciate
there,
you coming on tonight.
Hey,
Enjoy.
hold on real quick. Can I say
Don't
something
get
real quick,
arrested because
Chris?
I don't have any money to bail you out anyway.
Hey man, I appreciate you guys, man. Hey man, let's have a great game, man. Let's have a great game.
I have a tailgate
Appreciate
if y'all
you
want to
guys.
come. If y'all in town, if y'all want to slide through, I got a tailgate if y'all want to slide through. Free, everything on me.
Respect, fellas.
All right,
Yeah.
respect.
Appreciate
You
you.
guys take care. God bless.
All right, God bless
Yeah.
everybody. All right, see you.
Respect.
God bless, guys.
Yeah.
Chris,
Yeah,
that may be the most fun we've ever had on this show.
dude. It. You know what it felt like? I felt like I was on the Brady Bunch.
I just was thinking that we had 9 screens. I was like, are we on the Brady Bunch? I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, that's what we got to do.
That's Florida. That's Florida. That's Miami, Florida State, folks. It's called.
Yep.
If you.
All right, let's switch gears here. We got Brandon Walker on last night in Monday Night Football. The Broncos took care of the Bengals, who right now are 2-2 and wheeling. So let's bring in Brandon. Brandon, you there? I don't know if he's there. Hello, Brandon. Brandon. I don't see Brandon.
I have no words for what just happened.
Dude, that was so fun.
I mean, we had comments coming in. I was like,
I know. We had major comments coming in. It was pretty.
I was like, holy. That may be one of the greatest segments we've ever done in our history.
No, I think this is the best one. I think the other one was when we had the Bengal guy on and what's his name? The guy who does the radio side for the Bengals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean Dave Lapham?
Skip, and what's his name? You know, the other side. You know, they were talking. You know, they're like, "Yeah, man, I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, what's up?" Yeah. I hope Brandon is there. So, Brandon, you there?
Brandon.
Hello. I don't know. Let me text a message to him.